The year is 1431 AD. Angkor is dying, and nobody wants to admit it. You stand on the western causeway of Angkor Wat, watching the sun rise behind the 5 towers, the same view your grandfather saw. For 600 years, this has been the heart of the Khmer Empire, the largest city in the medieval world. But things are different now. The canals that once brought water from the Kulen Mountains are clogged with silt. The reservoirs, those massive barays, are failing. Half of them are dry, the other half are stagnant, breeding disease. The population has been declining for decades. What was once a city of 1 million people is now maybe 200,000. Neighborhoods that used to bustle are abandoned. Wooden houses rotting, temples neglected. But Angkor Wat, still magnificent, still breathtaking. Built by King Suryavarman II as a temple to Vishnu, it's the largest religious monument ever constructed. The towers rise like lotus buds toward the sky. The galleries are carved with thousands of apsaras, celestial dancers frozen in stone. The bas-reliefs tell stories from Hindu epics, the churning of the ocean of milk and the battle of Kurukshetra. You've walked these stones your entire life. Your family has served the temples as stone carvers for generations. But the work is drying up. There's no money for new construction, barely enough for maintenance. The king's attention is elsewhere, defending against Siamese invasions and managing a fractured empire. Still, this morning is beautiful. The sun paints the sandstone pink and gold. The reflection pools mirror the towers perfectly. Monks in orange robes walk the galleries. The scent of incense drifts from the inner sanctuary. For now, Angkor still stands, still inspires awe, still functions as the sacred center of the Khmer world. But within a few years, the jungle will reclaim it all. After morning prayers, you walk to the West Baray to collect water. It's a daily ritual, but one that gets more difficult every year. The barays are Angkor's genius and its vulnerability. These massive reservoirs, the largest man-made lakes in the ancient world, made a city of 1 million possible in a monsoon climate. They store water during the rainy season, distribute it during the dry season, prevent flooding, enable rice cultivation year-round. The West Baray is 5 miles long and 1 mile wide. When it was built 400 years ago, it was a technological marvel. Stone embankments, sophisticated channels, perfect engineering. But now, it's less than half full. Silt has clogged the channels. The embankments have cracks. Water leaks away before it can be properly distributed. The monsoons have been unpredictable. Some years too much rain, other years not enough. And nobody maintains it anymore. The labor force that used to dredge channels and repair embankments, gone. People have moved away. There's no centralized authority to organize the work. You see fishermen casting nets. The catch is smaller every year. The water is muddier. Algae blooms in the stagnant sections. An old engineer stands at the embankment shaking his head. You know him. He's been trying to organize repairs for years. "We need 500 men to clear the channels," he says. "I can barely get 50 and no funding from the palace." The palace, that's the problem. The king's court has been at war with Siam for decades. Resources go to the military, not infrastructure, not maintenance, not the systems that made Angkor possible. You fill your jars with water. It's still usable, but it needs to be boiled. Disease is spreading. Dysentery, something the locals call the wasting sickness. Doctors blame the bad water. Walking back toward the city, you pass abandoned neighborhoods. Wooden houses collapsed, gardens overgrown. In the distance, Angkor Wat rises above the trees, still magnificent, but everything around it is falling apart. This is how empires end, you think. Not with war or invasion, those you can see coming, but with infrastructure failure. Within a generation, the barays will fail completely. The jungle will move in. Mid-morning at the Royal Plaza, and it's quieter than it should be. This plaza, just north of Angkor Wat, is supposed to be the commercial heart of the empire. The Terrace of the Elephants stretches along one side, a massive stone platform carved with elephants and lions. This is where the king reviews his troops. But the king hasn't been here in months. He's in Phnom Penh now, or near the Siamese border. The market stalls are half full. Chinese merchants used to come here by the hundreds. Now, maybe a dozen. The trade routes have shifted. Ports to the south are more accessible, while Angkor remains dependent on failing barays. You're here to sell carvings, small Buddha figures for home altars. The business isn't what it used to be. A Chinese merchant examines your work. "Quality is good," he says, "but the market is difficult. Price has to be lower than last year." Everything is lower: wages, trade, population. Around the plaza, you notice what's missing. The dancers and musicians are gone. The vendors of exotic spices have left. Even the beggars are fewer. The terrace still stands, magnificent and imposing. But the empire is shrinking. The Siamese kingdom of Ayutthaya is growing stronger, disrupting trade and taking territory. Worst of all, the king's authority is weakening. The tribute system that funded Angkor's glory has collapsed. You look at the palace complex. Once, thousands worked there. Now, the buildings look empty. This is the slow death of a great civilization. Not dramatic, just sad. As the sun sets, the glory of Angkor passes into shadow. Midday, and you enter Angkor Wat for afternoon prayers. The temple has changed in your lifetime. Built as a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu, Angkor Wat is now Buddhist. The transition happened gradually over the past century. Buddha images now sit in front of Hindu carvings. Monks in orange robes walk galleries once reserved for Brahmin priests. Your family has adapted. Your grandfather worshipped Vishnu here. Your father accepted Buddhism. Now you light incense to Buddha in a temple covered with Hindu gods. It's confusing, but it's Angkor. Layers of history, religion, culture, all mixed together. The bas-reliefs are magnificent. Hundreds of meters of carved stone telling stories from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Battle of Lanka, the churning of the ocean of milk. These carvings have been here 300 years, and they'll be here 300 years from now. Maybe longer. A young monk approaches. He's maybe 20 years old, freshly ordained. The carvings are beautiful, he says, but I don't understand the stories. My teacher says they're Hindu myths. You explain some of the scenes. The monkey god Hanuman, the demon king Ravana, the cosmic dance of creation and destruction. The young monk listens politely, but you can tell this isn't his religion anymore. Buddhism has won. That's another layer of decline. The religion that inspired Angkor's construction is fading. The kings who built these temples as cosmic representations of Mount Meru, the home of Hindu gods. That worldview is being replaced. Buddhism is gentler, more egalitarian. It doesn't require massive temples or elaborate rituals. It doesn't need the vast resources that Hinduism demanded. In some ways, Buddhism is better suited to Angkor's decline, a religion of renunciation for a civilization learning to let go. You complete your prayers and offerings. Incense smoke rises toward the stone towers. Monks chant in Pali, the sacred language of Buddhism. The sounds echo through galleries that once rang with Sanskrit hymns. Outside, the afternoon heat is oppressive. The temples radiate stored warmth. You think about the kings who built this place, Suryavarman II, Jayavarman VII, others whose names are carved in stone. They believed Angkor would last forever. They were wrong, but the temples might actually last forever.
Late afternoon, you walk to the rice fields outside the city. Your family owns a small plot. Not much, but enough to supplement your stone carving income. The fields tell the same story as everything else: decline. Angkor's agricultural system was brilliant. The Barays stored water, canals distributed it. Rice paddies produced multiple harvests per year. The surplus fed the city, funded the temples, supported the empire. This was the foundation of everything. But now, the irrigation system is failing. Canals that should be full are dry, others are clogged with vegetation. Without proper water management, farmers can barely manage one harvest per year instead of 2 or 3. You see farmers working, bent backs, slow movements, the exhaustion of people fighting a losing battle. Water buffalo pull wooden plows through mud. Children scatter seeds. Women transplant rice shoots in flooded paddies. The labor force is smaller than it used to be. Many young people have left for Phnom Penh or other cities, hoping for better opportunities. The ones who remain work harder for less reward. An old farmer, a friend of your father, waves you over. "Look at this," he says, pointing to a broken canal. 20 years ago, the king would send engineers to fix this. Thousands of workers. Now, nothing. We fix it ourselves, or it stays broken. He's right. The corvée labor system that built and maintained Angkor has collapsed. Kings can't command massive workforces anymore. Local cooperation has broken down. Everyone fends for themselves. The jungle is encroaching too. You notice trees growing where there used to be fields, vines covering abandoned terraces. Nature is patient, it waits. And when humans falter, it moves in. Climate change is part of it. The monsoons have been erratic for decades. Some years bring catastrophic floods. Other years bring drought. The predictable rhythm that Angkor's farmers depended on, gone. You help with some work on your family plot, then head back toward the city as the sun lowers. Behind you, farmers continue their labor. They'll work until darkness falls, trying to coax enough rice from the earth to feed their families. Without the agricultural surplus, Angkor can't survive. It's that simple. And the surplus is gone.
Sunset. You climb to the Bayon temple at the heart of Angkor Thom, the fortified city built by Jayavarman VII 200 years ago. The Bayon is strange and beautiful. 54 towers, each carved with 4 giant faces looking out in all directions. Some say they represent Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Others say they're portraits of Jayavarman VII himself, the God King watching over his empire forever. The faces watch you climb. Serene smiles, downcast eyes. They've seen everything. The empire's glory, its gradual decline, the daily struggles of ordinary people trying to survive. From the top of the Bayon, you can see all of Angkor Wat to the south, its towers catching the last sunlight. The western Baray in the distance, its water glinting. The Royal Plaza, the scattered neighborhoods, the encroaching jungle. A monk stands nearby, also watching the sunset. He's older, weathered, the kind of monk who's spent decades in contemplation. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he says. You agree. It is beautiful, heartbreakingly so. Everything ends, the monk continues. Cities, empires, lives. This is the nature of existence, impermanence. The Buddha taught this. He's right, of course, but that doesn't make it easier to watch. Do you think Angkor will survive, you ask? The monk considers. The stones will survive, the temples. They're too massive to disappear. But the city, the people, the empire? He shakes his head. Those are already gone. We just haven't admitted it yet. You sit in silence, watching the sun sink below the horizon. The sky turns from gold to orange to deep purple. The stone faces of the Bayon seem to glow in the fading light. In a few years, the Siamese will sack Angkor. The city will be abandoned. The jungle will move in. For 400 years, these temples will be lost, swallowed by forest, forgotten by the outside world. But they'll survive, and eventually, they'll be found again. French explorers will hack through the jungle and discover a lost civilization. Archaeologists will excavate. Tourists will come from around the world. The stone faces will still be here, smiling their mysterious smiles. Night falls over Angkor. You return to your family home, a modest wooden structure near one of the smaller temples. Your wife has prepared dinner: rice, fish from the Baray, vegetables from the garden. Your children are eating, talking about their day. Normal family life. Normal evening. Normal in every way, except for the weight of history pressing down on everything. Your eldest daughter asks about the Chinese merchant. Maybe we should move to Phnom Penh, your wife suggests quietly. The king's court is there now. That's where the opportunities are. She's probably right. Many families are making that choice. Angkor is the past. Phnom Penh is the future. But leaving feels like betrayal. This is the city of stone. We'll see, you say. After dinner, you walk outside. The night is clear. Stars fill the sky. In the distance, Angkor Wat is a dark silhouette. You think about the kings who built this city. Suryavarman II, Jayavarman VII. Men who believed their empire would last forever. They were wrong about forever. But maybe the point wasn't permanence. Maybe the point was the attempt, the ambition to build something magnificent, knowing it wouldn't last. Angkor will fall. The jungle will reclaim the city. For centuries, these temples will be lost. But then they'll be discovered, restored, protected. Millions of people will visit them, marvel at them, wonder about the civilization that created them. In that sense, the kings were right. Angkor will last forever, not as a living city, but as a monument to human ambition, creativity, and the bittersweet beauty of impermanence. You go back inside. Your children's laughter fills the house. Whatever happens to Angkor, life continues. People adapt. They find new homes, new ways to thrive. The empire may be dying, but the people, the Khmer people, will endure. And centuries from now, archaeologists will piece together the story of Angkor's rise and fall. Someone will remember this day, this ordinary day, the last golden moment before the jungle reclaimed its majesty.